Can I sort of drift a little bit on this subject and talk a little bit about information input, if you will, because this becomes a real critical issue for a lot of people. I think that I think all of us would agree that if we were constantly fed bad food, we'd feel like crap, right? We would just feel terrible. Think about the information that you're taking in about the world, about the economy, about politics, about whatever. And we've said on this show before, we've been very critical of the traditional media before because their job is to not necessarily inform you. Their job is to keep you watching the TV or listening to their broadcast or whatever the case may be. And they live on ratings. That is their job. But oftentimes that stuff is inflammatory, and oftentimes it's way overblown, and oftentimes it has absolutely no application to you.
Yeah.
And I think that that's critical. We talked with some of our clients just this week, Scott, about focusing on their economy, not the economy, because there's a lot of noise out there right now about the economy. Inflation can get, obviously the inflation is higher. But you had some interesting information just a minute ago as we were talking before we went on the air about the fact of inflation is not long-term persistent.
Right. And that historically, if you look at the U.S. inflation numbers, it averages over the long period of time a little over 3%.
Right.
And there have been very few, it's been very rare that we've had long stretches of 5% or higher. In fact, there's only been one time in U.S. history where we've had 10 years of 5% annual inflation.
Right.
And there's only been 7 times, this one really got me, there's only been 7 times in which we've had 2 back-to-back years of 5% or higher.
Interesting.
So it's rare for us to have high inflation for a long period of time. So why does that matter? Because the client meeting we were in, and a lot of client meetings that we're in, when they come into their annual reviews or even when they're coming in for the first time, one of their biggest worries is inflation because that's the headline they're receiving. But how does it actually apply to your personal economy? Inflation is not going to cause you to keep from reaching financial independence, but how you react to it can.
Yeah, and I think that's important because, again, if you're fed all of this information that it's bad, it's really bad, it's so bad I can't even begin to tell you how bad it is. That's the sum total of what the media usually says about things. And then you come in for a review and you hear one time a year, hey, things are looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden you're trying to juxtapose those two different pieces of information and you just get confused. But in reality, you've got to think about this in terms of how this applies to you, your plan, and your life.
Want more content like this delivered to your inbox weekly? Visit fastest4.com to learn more.